It's the season finale of the Rangiart V8 Brute Series, and only 2 points separate Andre Elliott and Andrew Ferguson in the Drivers' Championship, but only one of these drivers can be crowned champion. The finale sees the drivers tackle Autodroma Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari, where many have tried but never conquered. A lap of this place will see these V8 machines use all 400 horsepower available to navigate through the fast chicanes of Variante Tamburello and Variante Villeneuve before using the very little grip that these Utes offer to carve through the Italian hills of the middle sector. But the final sector will reward the drivers who are able to hit their brake pedal not just to the floor but through it to enable big braking moves into the final corners of Ravazza. It's all set to be one for the ages. 2 Titans enter, one will be champion. All live on Sensational TV.
Lights out and let's go racing, folks, and it's a very even start from the entire field.
There's a freight train forming behind him right now. He will be as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I can give you the hot tip. Sideways as a bishop on a chessboard. That was incredible car control.
Going for a bit of an ambitious dive now, and oh, there's contact! Here they come now, around the final turn on the final lap, they're side by side!
Oh, there's contact now. Someone is going to be hitting the showers early tonight, I'll tell you what.
Crosses the line for P1, brilliant racing, absolutely sensational stuff.
This is heart pounding. This is nerves rising. This is Sensational TV.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rangiart Tuesday. Now, this is going to be exciting. We've got people fighting for a championship here. We've got Andrew Ferguson. He's sitting in the pits at the moment, but Fergo has set a cracking time. He is absolutely on for this one. He will be gunning for it. And then we've got Andre. He's with him there. These guys are going to be going mental for the title tonight. Can we get an upset from the likes of Corksy? I don't know. This one is going to go down to the wire. And as always, people, I have with me in the comm box my good mate, Pete. How are you, Pete?
I am very good. That was beautiful timing there, Dino.
Mate, as always, we're getting the timing down perfectly. Quali is just about to start. What can we say about this championship? This one is going to absolutely go for it.
It has been a absolutely fantastic championship. It is going to come down to the absolute wire. You got 2 races coming up tonight here at Imola, and you have got 2 absolute titans still going at it for the championship between Andre Elliott and Andrew Ferguson. But it is going to, it's going to be a brilliant event, this one. This car and track combo is going to be definitely one to watch. And speaking of the championship, because it's the title fight is between Elliott and Ferguson, but do not discount the likes of McFadden, Corks, and Ezra here, because they are still well and truly within shout of the championship. There's about 150 points on offer tonight. So unfortunately for Dion Cloak, he's 174 behind, so he falls just short of still being in contention. But you've got 5 drivers in amongst it, but only 2 points separate first and second. It's getting spicy.
I mean, how exciting do you want it for the championship? Andre and Fergo, these 2 guys will both want the championship. At the moment, I'm just looking at the times. Ferguson set a 158.1 and Andre in second with a 158.6. So these guys are both pushing each other. This one is seriously going to come down to the wire. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. We're about to rip into quali now. So we are literally under 10 seconds away from quali, and which will be a final in this amazing series. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I know I have, Pete.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. And one thing I would just like to point out, which I think is absolutely brilliant and just shows that you don't always have to be the one getting the race wins. So for the likes of Andre Elliott, who currently finds himself leading the standings by that mere only 2 points, he's won 3 of the races so far, as we've now gone green in qualifying. But while they do their outlapped, so Andre Elliott has only won 3 races, so, well, I say only, he is equal to the most amount of race wins so far this season. So both, so himself, John Ostrop, and Jason McFadden have all won 3 races so far this season. But the driver on your screen right now, Andrew Ferguson, is in 2nd position in the championship, only 2 points behind your title leader. He's only won 1 race this season. He has been so consistent to the point he's put him nearly as your championship leader. Just fantastic stuff.
Oh, absolutely amazing at the moment how he is. But I tell you what, I would not count this man out. Do you think this guy wants it? He will want the glory. He will want to win the Rangiart series to show that he is the clear leader here as we head into many other events. We're about to get into a new season, but I tell you what, the conclusion of this one, how does a championship come down to 2 points? It's still got me baffled, Pete.
It is just a case of consistency and also massive moments. Cast your mind back, you were competing there, Dino. We'll talk about that one just in a short moment of time. You were competing in the last one around Ipswich. That was a fantastic event. We saw a battle for the win in the first race come down to just over a 1/10 of a second as they crossed the line. They were pushing each other over that start-finish line. And in the end, that one did go to the hands of Jason McFadden. But Andre Elliott was ever consistent in that one, and he snatches the championship lead away from Fergo going into this one. But it has just been fantastic racing, fantastic battling. And again, to the last one, we saw, I reckon it was about 3/4 of the field got caught up in a turn 3 pile-up. That was something I haven't seen at all so far this season. We've had our fair shout of incidents, but nothing that wipes out nearly 3/4 of the field. That was something to behold.
Oh, definitely. That was a big accident. I think I was clear of that one. I just sort of put my head down and got out of the way. There was a few little, people were throwing around a few accusations there, but I can guarantee you I had nothing to do with that one. I was well away from it. But these boys driving in the field with these guys, geez, they're fast. I mean, they are ridiculously fast in these Utes. Pete, you had an excursion yourself. I mean, surely you would have felt it too. These guys do not muck around.
Yeah, these guys are very, very quick operators when they jump into the hands of absolutely anything, especially when you're talking about a driver such as Fabian Fitness, where you're very used to him being up the very pointy end of the championship standings. Unfortunately, for the V8 Brute Series, he's not in contention for this one. He currently sits in 8th in the standings, 228 points adrift, so he falls a bit outside of that 150 magic number to still be within contention. But Tommy Corks on your screen, he is one of the drivers still very much in contention. We've seen fantastic pace from Tommy here, and he actually hasn't even won a race so far this season. So could this one be the time he finally gets that first place positioning? He's had a couple of pole positions yet to claim a race win, but again, his consistency has put him into P4 in the standings and only 80 points adrift.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's still one to watch. Him, old Corksy, and I tell you who's another guy to watch, McFadden. Now, he will do everything in his power to upset this little tea party that Fergo and Andre are having out the front there. Jace is also a man who will race hard. He will give it everything it's got, and he will push to be in this title fight. And I tell you what, he's not out of it with that far behind. If he can have 2 good race results tonight, all it's going to take is from some little mishaps from Andre and a couple of little mishaps from Fergo, which, hey, no commentator curse going on here, folks, but all it's going to take is a little mishap and bang, he's now into it. But as we look at times rolling in, Pete, look at that, straight off the bat from Fergo.
Yep, absolutely on the pace. But look at this, your Birdman, Lenny Crowther, absolutely smashes it out the park by 0.2 of a second. He is clear at the moment. So he's also another driver who is going to be trying to play his hand into this battle. He's not within championship contention, unfortunately. He finds himself just behind Fabian Fitness, 30 points behind him in 9th position in the standings. But he is always somewhere towards the top of the field, and he's going to be wanting to try and get himself in amongst the action here tonight at Imola. So expect him to try and, force his way up to the top, and one driver who we said would find his way to the top, Tommy Corks, 58.3. So we're now starting to get really into the times.
Now we're starting to see the times tumble, but I tell you what, it is no surprise for me at all to see Crowther up there. The man's driving at the moment is absolutely on point. In a couple of other series, you've seen him work his way to the front. I think he'll be one to watch in the next series, but for now, let's see if he can pip Corksy, because Corksy there, that 58.3, that is a time to behold. So he will be absolutely wrapped with that, but pushing for a little bit faster. McFadden now, McFadden's sort of done a 2-minute flat, so I'd say he's just warming up for a lap. And Andre, he's the same. He will be just warming up. He's gone into the pits at the moment, so he's going to change a few things. There's obviously a few little things that can be changed at the moment to try and get some more speed out of these things.
Yeah, it is going to be very tricky, because this is here one of the corners that I was talking about, where they're going to be rewarded for their bravery on the brake pedal, because they can find a heap of time, and there's a little bit of the AstroTurf as well on the exit of the corner if they want to try and use that too, but that stuff is not very grippy, and these cars do not have a lot of that on offer, so they've got to pick and choose how they use it. And you can see that Andrew Ferguson, it was an improvement, but it wasn't enough to put him to the top as now. Johnny Ostrop plays his hand into this one as now. P4 for John, a 59.2. So at the moment, it's only about 9/10 of a second separating your top four, and around a circuit as tricky as this, and those are pretty fine margins.
Mate, that is quite a tight little gap there. I tell you what, Johnny, always impressive whenever he gets into that ute in this series, always lays down a time and can be a real protagonist to it. And then Ezra, bang, up in a fourth with a 59.2. The time's starting to tumble now. We're getting to about the 3-minute mark. So now we're going to see these times fall. So at the moment, we've got Corksy, Crowther, Fergo, Simmons, Astrop, Fitness, Cookie, McFadden. McFadden still to lay down a time. I would have expected this man to get further up there. Gray's in 9th and Remo in 10th. That rounds out your top 10. But I still think we'll see some changes, because Andre, Shock at the moment sitting in 16th place. You would have to expect him to move up a little bit here.
He absolutely has to move up a little bit, but one thing he may be trying to do as well is trying to build himself into it, because they've just had over an hour worth of practice for themselves to try and build up into the lap times they're doing. Is Andre maybe just still trying to build up to it? Is he still trying to work out exactly the best way he can do it? Because he's going to be wanting to try and start from the very top to try and hold on to this championship lead that he barely currently has. And at the moment, it's a big advantage to the way of Andrew Ferguson. How does this lap close out though? Because there is not a lot of green happening at the moment, and this lap is actually in the 3-minute mark. So I don't think he's going to be having any sort of improvement. So he'll be wanting to try and get himself onto another fast lap, and hopefully that fast lap will be coming around now. Joshy Sadler, though, on the slide and into the gravel, unfortunately for himself. That's going to throw away this lap in the Speed Nation Commodore. So, unfortunately for Sadler, there, he's going to have to go around and go once more. And that next time around will be his last lap as well, because with 1:30 left on the clock, any last laps that they want to get done need to start happening now.
That's right, and Dion, bam, popped it up in the 7th. Mate, he will be far more comfortable in a GDR, I can tell you, and I believe the next series he'll be able to drive a GDR. This man will be one to watch in the next one, but doing a fine job in the Brute Ute tonight. And the times are changing all over the shop. Crowther now still staying in 2nd. Might have just been the timing tower having a little bit of a mishap there, but some movers at the moment. McFadden now up in the 7th position, so he'll get one more lap in here. This will be make or break for Jason, but as we look down the field a bit, Rob's got it up in the 13th position. He will be wrapped with that. That's a great time for Rob. Paul's still there in that impressive Donut King car. Love that thing. Jeez, it makes me hungry. In 14th. Kingy in 15th. He's sitting in the pit, so he's throwing it away. Salmon's still trying to have a go. Andre here. Do we see much happening with Andre, or has the pressure gotten to the man? But he might be under a little bit of pressure here, Pete.
He might be a bit under pressure as well, because if he doesn't make this lap stick, he's going to put all of that down onto one more flying lap. Has he got enough fuel in the car to do another lap? Has he got the tyre life in the car as well? Because there's going to be a lot of these questions that need to be organised for Andre here. Is he going to be able to get that one done? Because this lap at the moment, it's already ticking over to 1:45 as he exits the final corner. So it's going to be very touch and go of what this lap time is going to be. So how does he go when he crosses the line? He does not have very long to go. He's not even going to make the line to start one more lap. So it has to be on this lap. And what does the lap do for himself? He stays 17th.
17th.
Wow.
That is the story of the night. Andre Elliott in 17th, and Fergo, he will be more than happy with that second place there. So he's sitting in second. Corksy now. Corksy seems to be on not a bad lap here. Oh, he's just lost it. He's gone for a little bit of a slide there. That's put him out. So Corksy's sitting in first still. And let's see if anyone else has got a lap in him. And bam, Dion with a quicker lap. He's gone faster again, but it hasn't got him up the field anymore. McFadden's done. Cookie, is he on a fast lap? No, nothing from Cookie. So that looks like that will be your field, ladies and gentlemen. Corksy, bang, takes pole position for the last race of the series. Well, the second last race of the series. Then Fergo second, Crowther third. Astrop, great job getting in there in fourth. Ezra, he will be wrapped with a fifth. McFadden sixth. Clerk seventh. Cookie in eighth. Ward in ninth. He will be happy with that too. Sadler in 10th. That's a great drive from Joshy. Remo now tried to upset the party, but just couldn't do it. Rob 12th. Bull, King, Salmon, Elliott in 16th. A lot of work to do here tonight. Streets, Wallace, Buck, sorry Buck, and Liam Hollyoak. Liam will go up the field a bit. Oh, Fabian, the big mover there. He's just popped it up in a 6 in the dying minute. Liam's popped it up in a 10th, so the field just changing a little bit now. But I tell you what, this is absolutely on. Pete, what do you reckon we send people away for a drink and let's go to a commercial break?
Absolutely. Get excited.
Motto is that safe drivers are lifesavers. If your organisation shares this belief and are planning to improve driver education in your community, SDT Simulator Driver Training has the solution. Many of our simulator users are also gaining a revenue stream by taking their simulators to events and schools for driver education programs. The system can also be set up to run motorsport simulation. Many leading racing drivers are now using simulators to improve their skills. Such software can also be used to show drivers they are not as skilled as they think they are. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Contact Simulator Driver Training for more information.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are ready for race one as the grid is all lined up. These boys are all set for action. This one's going to be full on. Off pole position, we've got Corksy. Second, we've got Fergo. Crowther in third. Great job from these boys. Johnny in fourth. Ezra fifth. Fitness sixth. Seventh, McFadden. Dion Clerk, he's there in eighth. Cookie in ninth. Hollyoak 10th. Look at that livery. Warden 11th. Sadler, Grand, Priest, Bull, Kingy, Wallace, Salmon, Elliott in 19th there, Pete. Can't believe that one. Streets and Rogers, as we're getting all amped up for a start. This is going to be exceptional. Let's see if we can get a camera angle here which works for us. It's not happening at the moment. It's a long back camera, Pete, but this is going to give us a great shot of the start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see how they get going, because I think off the top of my head, this is going to be the first track that we go to where straight off the bat, rather than having a little bit of a straight and then heading into a corner, the track immediately kinks off to the right. So they have to get they have to have the wits about you, is what I'm trying to say, get it out of my mouth, and make sure that they can get down to the first chicane of Varianto Tamburello. But the lights are now heading up onto the screen. It is season finale time, and it is all happening here on the Rangiart series, and immediately it's a drive-through penalty for Liam Hollyoak. So it's been a terrible start for himself. He was a bit too eager off the line, but who is very eager off the line is Tommy Corks. He has jumped immediately into the race lead, but with the long, flat-out stretch now to this chicane, he could be under threat with a little bit of slipstream, and around the outside goes Lee Crowther. How is this one going to play out between the two? They're door banging between one of the championship hopefuls of Andrew Ferguson, that is, who now pops himself up into second position. So it's been a dream start for Fergo. He's been able to keep his nose relatively clean and can continue on with this one. Johnny Ostrop down the inside of McFadden into the Villeneuve chicane. How does this one go? Because he's now on the outside. He's on the AstroTurf. He gets it done. Hollyoak in the background's all over the grass. So that's going to be a free position for Andre Elliott, who has to get himself further up the field and try and stay within contention of the championship. He may lead it by 2 points, but with the big points available, and one of the cars is off in the background, that looks like it probably could have been Hayden Wallace. He's lost a ton of positions in the Speed Nation car. How does it play out for himself? There you go. You can see he's recovered now. He's got it straightened out just a little bit. Oh, sorry. He was probably caught up trying to evade the action there, but now they go to single file, and it is all through the middle sector. This is where the Italian heels come to bite you if you don't get your line right, because you could lose a lot of momentum, especially heading into here. And let's keep an eye on how much curb usage they use through here on cold tires, and how brave are they hitting the brakes as they head into Ravazza.
These guys absolutely banging on here. They're banging doors. They are going hard at it. Everyone wants it. Lee there did a great job. Fergo, probably the winner of the bunch there, just kept his nose clean, like you said. Just got out there, head down, and just went for it. Corksy seems to have a good lead at the moment, but the field just back a tiny bit is closing up. I've just seen Ward go around Cookie there, and Cookie's taking it straight back. What a great job there. There's a little switchback for you like nothing else, and that's brought Remo into it. But here's a fast mover for you people. In 12th position already, here's Andre. So he has not given up yet. Expect to see him come back through the field. But let's go back up the front. Ezra here, right on Lee's hammer. This is absolutely on for young and old. So these guys, everyone's going to want, this is the last round in these Brute Utes, everyone is going to want a podium position here, Pete.
It is going to be absolutely on. The classic saying is it's on like Donkey Kong, but I think the stakes are a bit higher than that right now. And as you said, Andre Elliott, he has been an absolute charge, taking advantage of everyone all bunched up together. But is that a change for the lead? I think it is. I reckon Tommy Corks has made a mistake, because he had a comfortable lead against Andrew Ferguson. I bet the biggest culprit would have been running wide on the exit of Variante Villeneuve and getting into the gravel, because he's not only lost the position to Andrew Ferguson, but he's now got Lee Crowther and Ezra right behind him. Ezra's trying to look for the opportunistic way through. Can he follow Lee Crowther through? They're going to do a little bit of door banging as they go through the very quick Piratella of a turn 9, and now into. This is Aqua Minerale. Are they going to be able to get through there? And that's a lot of curb usage, and it's meant that Lee Crowther's had to go off, and he has to take to the escape road and drive all over the Imola signage, and he has fallen down from a possible second position, now down to 8th. So he is going to have the red mist descend. He is going to be like a vulture trying to get that prey back, and he is going to be wanting to get those positions back as soon as possible before the field spreads out just a little bit. And look at this, Jason McFadden, another one of your championship hopefuls, ladies and gentlemen, is now playing himself into this. He's up inside the top 5 and looking to try and get a move on Johnny Ostrop.
Yeah, he's going to go for it with Ostrop here. He will want that done. I tell you what, Ez there with the bad bump off that corner, and it's just propelled him straight into the side of Lee. And poor Lee's just been, excused me, pushed out of the way. Lee won't be happy with that, but maybe it'll just give him a little bit here to get back on, as I just see another mover in the background there. Andre, he's got another position. He's up to 11th now. So like I said, he will not play. He will not give up. He will drive to the absolute end to try and get it done here. So he's pushing like an absolute animal at the moment, but Ez making great ground. He's really staying on the back of Corksy here, showing us a bit of style. I believe he might have had a little bit of training with accelerated training, and tell you what, it's paying dividends right now, Pete. Might be the way to go for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He is finding himself comfortably inside of the top 3, but one driver who has had so far an absolutely terrible race is Liam Holyoke. Unfortunately, you may have seen it on the screen, and I spoke about it at the start of the race. He got a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, and as he came in to serve the penalty, unfortunately, he's been now pinged with a pit lane speed-through penalty as well. So tried to serve the penalty, he's been pinged with another penalty. Not a great day in the office for Liam Holyoke. Unfortunately, now finds himself down in 20th position and is looking to possibly have to now take a second drive-through penalty this race, which would probably nearly put him a lap down. You can see on the mini-map in the bottom of the screen that he currently sits in 20th position, and he's not too far behind the likes of Hayden Wallace, who also was caught up in a bit of drama at the start, but taking another drive-through penalty would definitely fool him into a bit of no man's land at the moment on the circuit. But McFadden here looking very racy behind Ostrop. Is he going to be able to make the move done? Because it looks like he might have a little bit of a run, Dino.
He's definitely got a little bit of a run here. He's moving it over to a side. I tell you what, Ostrop won't like seeing a banana dodging left and right in his rear vision mirror. Jason loves it, but I tell you what, Ostrop won't. So Johnny now's just had to cover that off, but that sent him a little bit wide. He's just gone a little bit slidey there. The car is just a little bit loose. McFadden seemed to have had a good run there, but somehow Johnny's come out of it on top. So beautiful driving there, but in the background, I mean, I see this going on. There's bumping and pushing all over the shop. As we see now, Gray, Andre and Cookie, and these 3 guys going at it. So Andre trying to go as far as he can up the road. And I tell you what, he's got a car in front of him. You can't just push it out of the way, mate. You're going to have to get that move done. But there's some close people coming up now. Crowther. Oh, Crowther again. Crowther with Dion. What a time to come over and witness that. Lee is just having a terrible night tonight. That is terrible luck for the man, because he's fast. We all know he's fast. Not sure what happened there, but McFadden's still all over Astrop. This could be a battle for the rest of the race. Pete, we've still got 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's still a lot of racing to happen in the future coming up, but I think for the case of Lee Crowther, that was just a case of he wasn't expecting the car in front of him to brake so suddenly, maybe a little bit sooner than he was expecting as well, and unfortunately just had to take a little bit of evasive action, which in his eyes was to the grass, and there's no grip on grass, so that left him going absolutely out into the middle of no man's land and near to the Senate tribute statue that's just outside of there as well. So he is falling down the order and unfortunately now finds himself in 12th position, but he's not too far away, Dean, from trying to get himself into a 10th position. Getting himself to P10 might just be the hack that he needs, because if you get that P10, he'll be on the pole position for the second race. But that's something to work out in 12 and a half minutes time, because this battle between McFadden and Ostrop is still heating up, and I think McFadden is starting to get a little bit annoyed in seeing that Coca-Cola car just in front of him. You would have thought that he may have been able to get through a bit quicker, but these are 2 very quick candidates in this series, both of them with 3 race wins of this series and very, very quick customers.
Definitely both quick guys. So we do a quick jump on board with McFadden now. You just see the wheel work. So they're having to counter steer these things. They're just having to hold on to them because they get loose. They get real loose. As we've said before, Pete, we both know how these things go. and Jace is just starting to fall back a bit now. He seems to have strengths in certain sections of the track, and then not others. And hang on a minute, something has happened here. Corksy right up on the back of Ferguson. So Ferguson might have just had a little incident there. He had a massive lead, and he's just lost it all. He's just absolutely lost it all, and now he's got Corksy right on his hammer, and Ezra with a bit of a sniff. Corksy having a look. He's going to show the nose all over the shop here and try and rattle Ferg. Can Fergo hang on to it? This is now the one to watch.
This is going to be a very, very exciting battle. And how does Ferguson play this as well? Because remember, only 2 points at the moment behind in the championship standings. So he has got everything to lose. Tommy Corks has got nothing to lose. Yes, he is still within championship contention, but he's a bit more of a larger shout because he needs to create, overcome an 80-point deficit compared to only 2. So the smart play would be if Corksy does have the pace, maybe for Ferguson just to let Corksy go on through, because you don't want to get caught up in an incident and then find yourself outside of the top 10, and then being outside the top 10 will give the advantage back to your championship leader, Andre Elliott, who now finds himself in that P9 position. But you can see both of them using all of the track plus a bit more available to them. Corksy looks like he might have a little bit of a run here. Does he dare send it down at the inside at the chicane? It's going to be a daring move if he does. He thinks better of it. He can't get it done at Variante Alta. But how's the run and heading out of here? Not very good because he cranks it out sideways with wheel spin. So Revarta is not an option for him this time around, but he has got the pace, so keep an eye on this space.
Oh, I tell you what, I absolutely love these battles. You got Fergo going for a championship. You got Corksy. He doesn't really give a stuff about the championship at the moment. All he cares about is getting that first place. So he's going to throw everything at it. This is not a time for Fergo to just sit back, take it easy, and hope for the best. And then Ezra there, he's doing a fantastic job in third. He's going to try and hold off Astrop. Astrop looks like he's moving up behind him now. But McFadden, he's lost a bit of touch with Astrop. I thought he'd be right there. We've still got Fabian coming through, and he's got Dion Clerk hot on his heels. So Dion now turned the Ute into a GDR, and the man has got hold of it. He is away. Gray there in 8th. He's always one to watch as well. This man will have a push and shove with you. He will throw the car in there. You've just got to watch him. Andre in 9th. Remo 10th. As we see a move in the background, Crowther, he's gone straight around Cookie there. So Cookie relegated back to 12th. Crowther's got it up into 11th, which is very impressive considering what's happened to him. Paul 13th. Rob in 14th, doing a great job holding down 14th position there with Joshy Sadler hot on his heels. But I tell you what, team cars, who knows what team orders will come into it. And then Salmon, another Speed Nation car. These guys are everywhere. Kingy doing a great job there in the Bob J Ute. He's just out in his own. And Buck up in the 17th. He's got 18th, sorry. He's got the flames going on. Wallace 19th. We've got Hollyoak there. That awesome livery. He's done more drive-throughs than I can tell you what. He's done more drive-throughs than a Macca's has tonight. And Street's there in 21st. So the action are plenty at the moment up and down the field. Crowther though, this man is on the move, Pete.
He is on the move, and I told you that the P10 would be the lucky number for him to try and get to, because that would give him the pole position for race 2, and that is his pole position, or provisional pole position, right in front of him, currently being held by Remo Green in the Speed Nation car. So is he going to be able to make a move here, get himself up to 10th, or does he want a little bit more? Does he want to try and chase down the likes of Andre Elliott, who's kind of found himself now a little bit stuck in that P9 position? He hasn't been able to make great inroads to Grey Water in 8th position as it stands, but it looks like Lee Crowther has definitely got the pace over Remo Green. You can see how much more aggressive he was using the curves, running it out a little bit wider to try and open up the corner and get the extra speed required to try and make a move into corners like this. You can see Remo running a little bit wide, so that's going to incentivize Lee Crowther here to go down the inside. He shoves his way through. He forces the gap to open up just enough to squeeze a Commodore in there. Unfortunately, can't get the move done, but he's now tucked up right behind the tray of the Speed Nation car. Is he going to be able to use the slipstream now to good effect here and get himself a position into the first of the 2 very fast chicanes coming up in sector 1? But he's got to be careful, because look at that. Hayden Cook is trying to play his hand into this. He's trying to figure out who to follow through. Does he go down the inside and follow Remo Green and try and get the position away from Lee Crowther? Or does he follow Lee Crowther and try and get the position off Remo? All will tell for Hayden Cook. At the moment, they stay line astern, and this has been brilliant battling so far. 3 cars also close together, but at the moment, it looks like Lee Crowther has definitely got the pace over Remo. It's only going to be a matter of time before he tries to go for another move. Could this be it? Could this be it? He's got a good run. He goes down the inside, so it's going to be a much more aggressive move. Is the space going to be given? Absolutely. A little bit of a touch as well. This sends Remo out wide through Tozer. And is he going to be able to get the move done now? Because they head back up the hill, heading towards Piratella, and they'll continue to go side by side. You don't want to be going side by side through turn 9. That is going to be a sentence and a half to go out wide, and it gives him the squeeze as well. Good, clean racing.
That's great racing, and for my like, mate, Cookie doing a great job there. He was just sitting back watching it all unfold, tucking up behind whoever he could and trying to hang on to their curtain tails. So I tell you what, these three guys, no holes barred here. Cookie gone really wide, but I tell you what, that might benefit him. He might get a run here. No, he hasn't got the run at all. But Pete, keen eye tells me up the front here, Corksy right back on the back of Ferguson. So the battle for the lead of this race is not over, and Fergo will want this. He will want to try and hang on to this because that is all just championship points in the bank. And as I said before, Corksy couldn't give two rats what's happening with the championship right now. He just wants that first place. So these two guys are going to battle it all the way to the line. So we've got just under 6 minutes, and I tell you, they'll be the longest 6 minutes of Fergo's life about to come up. Oh! The move's on here. No, he's tucked it back in. I tell you what, Pete, I reckon we should stick with this one for a little while.
Yeah, this is really starting to heat up. The gap, I was keeping an eye on the gap, and it was coming to about a second, but I'm going to say Tommy Corks was just trying to ease it back off a little bit, regather his thoughts, and then try and go for another move. And you can see him trying to off-put Andrew Ferguson now. He's showing the nose everywhere he can. He's got the thing on the slide, on the exits as well. That's not going to give him the exits required for him to try and show a move. But that is just showing how much he is pushing. And you may see on your timing as well, Hayden Cook is coming to the lane because unfortunately through all of that battling, got a little bit too aggressive on the curb usage and has got himself 3 strikes and you're in the pit lane and has had to take a drive-through penalty for that one. So Hayden Cook is now falling it down into 17th position, some 5 seconds away from King in 16th position. So that has ended his chances for a really good top 10 result here today in race 1 at Imola Circuit. But the battle is still on, and look at the curb usage from Tommy Corks. He was all over it. It makes me start questioning when he may be getting a penalty because he is using way too much curb, but it's fast. And as far as we know so far, he's not getting the track limit cuts yet. Has he figured out a little bit of a play here?
Might have found out a little bit of a play. I tell you what, he used a lot of that corner. The thing was airborne. I thought he'd join SpaceX for a minute there. That thing just took off and he just jumped that corner like it wasn't even there. And look at him tighten up. The braking that Corksy has is just immense, but then Fergo seems to get the run out. Fergo just seems to have a lot smoother driving at the moment. Maybe we should jump in Corksy's car for a second. Let's jump in and see what the man is doing. This is his view right now. So he's got Ferguson in front of him and he will be fired up like anything Corksy will. He will want to go around him at all costs. So this is absolutely on. As I've just seen, there's been something happen here. Dion dropping down the field. Dion, that looks like an out of fuel to me. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. He's lost all those positions. So something has happened there. He's rolling into the pits. That is out of fuel for sure.
Yeah, in this series, you run a higher fuel rate just to spice things up a bit here, Dino. And as we have both experienced, it does mean the cars are heavier at the start. Even for the shorter races, you can get away with not using a lot of fuel, but increase that fuel rate these cars use. You have to make the cars a lot heavier, and heavier cars with no grip, a lot of power. It just is the perfect formula for close door-to-door banging racing, and it is just why this series has been so brilliant. But that does come with risks and with using the extra fuel rate, and that does mean, unfortunately for Dion here, he probably didn't get the numbers quite right in practice and has used a bit more than he was expecting, and now finds himself doing a bit of a splash and dash in the pit lane, if he can even roll far enough to his pit box. But it looks like he's exited the pit lane now, so it looks like he did manage to do a bit of a splash and dash, and he is on again. But what is absolutely on here is Tommy Corks has got a run here. Is he going to look to the outside of Variante Alta? It's going to be a big move. He's on the grass in the braking zone. The car's all unsettled, and that has ended that overtaking opportunity, and that is now going to give a big lead back to Andrew Ferguson with only 2.5 minutes left of the race. The gap is now out to 1.5 seconds. So that aggressive move from Tommy Corks, and then unfortunately grabbing a bit of the grass on the corner entry as well, has ended this battle.
That has definitely ended this battle for now. I can't see him getting back up on the back of Ferguson from this point. Fergo, beautiful drive there. That was nice, calm and collected. Held his line. And then that was all Corksy. Corksy's gone around, but I just see in the background again, McFadden now starting to close up on the back of Astrop. So he wants another position. Can he get another one in the bag? I reckon we've probably got about a lap to go now. I don't see the boys getting another lap in. They might just squeeze another one in. But if I was Fergo, I'd be starting to pin it off when I got near the finish line. And let's just end this. But let's go back to this little battle for a second. McFadden, he's going to throw everything he's got at this last lap. Look at how much of the track these guys are using. I wouldn't say we're at the car park level yet, but we're close. We're close. We're not going to need Jim's Mowing to come in for this one and do some manicuring afterwards, because I tell you what, the Utes have got those inside curves pretty clean right now.
Yeah, they absolutely do, but one thing that's not going to be clean with all the curb usage and using a bit of the grass as well is they're going to have to get the apprentices out to clean out those front grills, because those cars will be running also hot. Filled with grass at the moment from this beautiful circuit, so they're going to have to get someone out there to clean it all up, and if it's Jim's mowing or someone else, well, only time will tell. But Jason McFadden, he's been stuck behind Ostrov for so long. Is he going to be able to get himself a pass? As you said, Dean, there's not a lot of time left. It's going to be very touch and go whether if we get one more lap in. I'm starting to feel like we're going to be on the side of maybe falling just a little bit short. And look at the car behavior between the two. They are got these cars wrapped around the neck, and they are going absolutely at it. There is nothing being left on the table here, and that just shows you how close this field is, because they're both going at it so hard, and they just can't get away from each other. McFadden doesn't have the pace to get around Ostrov, and Ostrov doesn't have the pace to be able to pull away from McFadden. And so that just plays into the hands of people like Ezra in third position. He could hold on to that third position, get himself a podium here. But take a look, Dean, because I think it's going to be also close if we actually make it to the start-finish line. And with the amount of time that has been lost, I reckon Ferguson knew exactly what he's going to do. The clock's going to run down to zero as he gets to the start-finish line. He's going to claim the victory here. I do believe so. And there it is. Claims the victory in race one. And I reckon he's done exactly what you thought of. He is backed away because he lost over a second the Tommy Hawks in that one. So Ferguson takes the race win. That's going to play beautifully into the hand of the championship. He will take the championship lead heading into the final race of the season. Tommy Hawks in the second position, and Ezra makes it a Ford Falcon 1, 2, 3 here in race one at Imola. And then Johnny Ostrop does hold off from Jason McFadden to round out your top five.
And then we've got Fabian there with a gallon effort into sixth. Andre, that's a mover and shaker for you people. Up in a seventh position. Grey Ward into eighth. Lee, such terrible luck throughout that race, but still managed to keep in the top 10. That's a great drive. Remo, he'll get pole for the next one. Then Paul, Priest, Sadler, Salmon, Kingy with a great result in 15th there. He'll be wrapped with that. Cookie, after that drive through 16th. Wallace, Rogers, Hollyoak, Streets, and Dion. Not quite sure what happened to Dion in the end there, but I tell you what, it was all on. So this man now has the championship within his grasp, has everything to lose. Let's see what he can pull out for race two. Let's nick to a quick commercial and we will be right back with you people. Go and get a drink. This one is going to be balls out for sure.
Motorsport isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And when performance matters, you need gear you can trust. That's where ARD Importing comes in. ARD Importing brings world-class racing brands straight to New Zealand, supplying real racers, real teams, and real enthusiasts with proven performance products around the globe. We're talking JRP racing components, Zamp helmets and safety gear you can rely on the track, Red Cat Racing for high-performance RC action and intimate brake pads for serious stopping power when it counts most. Keep your engine protected with renewable lubricants, premium oils designed for extreme performance and durability. Turn up the volume with Wicked Audio, delivering powerful sound whenever the road or track takes you. And gear up with Spartan products built for durability, comfort, and race day durability. Whether you're racing dirt, asphalt, or chasing lap times from home, ARD Importing has you covered. Sim racers as well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because ARD New Zealand is your importing source for all of Camus Racing sim gear. Precision wheels, professional grade pedals, immersive feedback that puts you right in the driver's seat. Train harder, race smarter, and feel every corner. From real world racing to the virtual grid, ardimporting.co.new Zealand connects you with elite brands trusted by racers worldwide.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what's proving to be the race to view tonight. Remo off the pole, but I mean, before we get into that, Pete, championship standings, where are we sitting? It's killing me.
All right, so I've done the math in the ad break, and your new championship leader is Andrew Ferguson after claiming that race win. He now holds the way, but only 10 points to Andre Elliott, who now has to fall back to second position. 52 points adrift is Jason McFadden, and then 70 points adrift is Tommy Corks, and then 76 points adrift is Ezra. So they have all closed up together, and because the gap across your top five was previously only 80 points, it's now 76, so it's still all to play for, but that gap between your top two has spread out just a little bit, with now Ferguson taking the championship lead.
Fergo, he will be absolutely committed. Let's get in there. Let's have a look at the eyes on the man. I reckon they will be laser focused. Look at that. He is playing for keeps tonight. There will be no mucking around. But before we do that, let's do a quick run through the field. We've got Remo off pole there in that beautiful Speed Nation car. Lee after an unlucky first race. He's in second. Grey Ward third. Andre in fourth. He will need a big result here and he'll be hoping that something happens. We've got a grid coming up now, so this is about to go live. We've got the lights. We're about to get a start. Let's see how the start... Oh, hang on a minute. There's been a restart. Something has gone amiss there. So we're going to get a bit more of a chance to talk. But I tell you what, that's not going to bother me, Pete, because I really wanted to bring up the championships coming up through the series.
Yeah, it is going to be also exciting before coming up. I'm very looking forward to the GT 500 series coming up. A little bit of a Super GT action for everyone at home. And we head to Suzuka, Fuji, Singapore, Okayama, Tsukuba, Sugo, Autopolis, Sepang, and Shanghai. So it is a very much of a run through the Asias, and it is going to be a very, very fun indeed. A very different amount of tracks as well. But before we get along to that, we head to Daytona, Dino.
Oh, NASCAR. Love a bit of NASCAR. Bit of rough and tumble. If you haven't seen enough of it in these Brute Utes, I tell you what, you're sure as hell going to see it at Daytona. These boys in NASCARs, do you really think that's going to be clean?
Oh, I'm looking forward to a bit of bump drafting with this lot. It is going to be so entertaining.
It's definitely going to be a fun one to watch, but the new series coming up will also be the GT cars. They're always fun, mate. And as you said, going through Asia there in those cars, who doesn't love a GDR? Who doesn't love all those style of cars battling it out hammer and tongs? This is definitely going to be on for young and old. But let's have a quick look now. I reckon a nervous man on the grid will be this one. I just saw him plucking gears, so he's getting ready for it. This is an energized field. It's the last race for this series. This is balls out. Let's hammer time.
Absolutely. It is all to play for now. Leave absolutely nothing on the table because it is going to be the last shout at trying to get your hands on that championship trophy, Dino.
Definitely the last shout, and the lights are up now. We're going to get a start here. Let's see how they all go off the grid. As the lights go out, we're off. That's a beautiful start from Crowther by the look of it. He just got a jump there. Remo, though, didn't do a bad job at all. In the background, we see them all starting to move around. They're just trying to vie for a bit of position here. We're going to want to keep the camera on the mid-pack. Let's get a shot there. We've got Gray showing the nose. He's going to throw it straight up the inside there. Straight up the inside. Lee is into it again. He's getting bumped left, right and center. There's cars flying everywhere. That has just given Andre a free pass straight up into third place. So that little bump, he will be absolutely loving that. Gray now. Crowther still holds the lead. We got McFadden. He's in a fourth position. He bumps Andre. He's given him a tap. Oh, there's another tap back on the outside. I tell you what, I think that was a bit of return to serve. And then we got Fergo. Fergo is on the grass. What is going on here? Fergo getting squeezed all over the shop. They've all just lost their head, Pete. Everyone's lost their head.
Yeah, I didn't even notice Fergo going onto the grass. I was getting excited over the fact in the background. There was a huge moment happening. We saw Liam Holyoke go wide off into the gravel and into the fence. And so he's now fallen down the field and all the way into 20th position. But as you said, Ferguson, the championship leader, is in amongst it now. He can't be doing this, or otherwise he will find himself losing out on the championship field. But this is what the reverse grid does. It adds in so many inconsistencies with this championship. It adds in so many unknowns. It allows it all to become so wide open. Hence why we've got such a thrilling championship finale on our hands right now. But look at them all trying to use the curb, trying to get a bit of extra lap time they can. But Ferguson in 9th position. He's only been able to gain the 1 position so far on this lap. And look at Fabian Fitness as well. He was using the grass to try and get himself by Alan Paul, that is, in the Donut King car, getting finished the move, going down the inside into Ravazza. No, he can't, because Paul doesn't give him a lot of space. It's all over the curb. And you have to try and go again to get that P10 position away from Paul. But look at them all snaking down the straight. And it is Ferguson in 9th position, only 1 position up from where he started. So not the start that he probably wanted. Andre Elliott, after all of that, actually now finds himself back in the 4th position. So He was momentarily looking like he would take second away, maybe even a race lead off of Lee Crowther, but ends up finding himself in fourth position. Now Ostrop is looking on the defensive, and Tommy Corks now is trying to stay on the defensive as well to keep Ferguson behind him and try and keep his championship hopes alive as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to move up the field a bit more, because I tell you what, I think this man will, as he's closed up on the back of Gray Ward. Gray's run wide. There's a free kick. Oh, if ever there was a time this man needed a free kick, it's right now, and he's got a Corksy's on the grass in the background. Corksy pulls a move on the grass. So where is he going? There's a Gisbergen special if ever I saw it. Somehow manages to gather it up and keep it all straight. Astrop now, he's in a battle with like nothing else with Ezra. Him and Ezra going at it. Ezra seems to have the best of this one, but we've got a left-hander coming up, which means Astrop's going to get right away with Ez. He's not going to back out of this. He will stay there. This guy, not here to play games, here to battle it out.
Yeah, it is absolutely on, and we saw and going side by side through here for Lee Crowther did not end very nicely. But look at them go 2-by-2. There's contact between Corks and Ferguson, and that's going to open up the door as well for Fitness to play his hand into this. And look at this battle pack that we've now got, and Fitness is trying to play his hand to it because he's side-by with Corksy. Ostrop has gone for a spin. He's had a little bit of a helping hand from Ezra there, and so he's going to pull outside of the top 10 and even further down. This is going to open up the door for Ferguson now to try and get himself up into 5th position past Ezra, and inside the top 5 will be excellent for himself. Now considering that Elliott is up into that 3rd position, how does this one play out? Like Corksy's trying to follow him through. Corksy gets onto the AstroTurf and onto the grass for good measure as well. That opens up the door for Fabian Fitness now to try and get himself up inside of the top 7, and he is unable to do so. But while all of this is happening, Lee Crowther and Andre Elliott setting the pace at the moment up in front. You've got a 3-car breakaway, and then it is absolutely going off its head on.
Definitely. Look at all the action happening behind here. Fitness, he wants a piece of this. Ezra, he won't give up the position early. Corksy using all of the track. I didn't know the grass out there was a maneuver, but I tell you what, he's making it happen at the moment. He's left, right, on the track, off the track. This man doesn't care if he's using the barriers next to get around corners. But what we're seeing right now is guys that just want a position and just want to go for it. Fergo, he's now clear a little bit. He will be breathing a huge sigh of relief over that one. He's got himself up in the 5th position. Andre, our other man, he's now right on the back of McFadden. I don't see that time coming down much now, so these guys really evened out. Lee has got himself out in front doing a great job. Jason now just a little bit sideways, which is letting Andre close just a little bit more. Not sure if team orders will come into this one. This will be something to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been keeping an eye on the championship tallies as well, just making sure that I keep a tab on how their positioning goes. Now Tommy Corks is still unable to get himself by Ezra here, so that's going to really start eating away at his confidence, because he would have been hoping to try and stick with Ferguson and be able to make those moves and again try and keep that championship alive. The Fitness, though, trying to play the intimidator and showed the nose going into the ultra chicane, and unfortunately not able to get that move done. But if I just quickly, momentarily go back to the championship standings as it stands, with the Elliott in 3rd position, he will score 46 points. Ferguson will score 42 points, so he's well and truly within that 10-point buffer. But all it takes is for either one of them to drop, I think off the top of my head, maybe 2 more positions, and that will change the championship up big time. And this will also change things. Tommy Corks now up into 6th position because Ezra ran it out wide at the final corner, and now has also allowed Fitness to get on through as well. Now up into 2nd position, and so that is going to play things differently into the championship now, because that is going to flip things on its head, and maybe a bit of team orders, Dino, has played its hand.
Definitely. I think there would have been team orders there. Just need to take a quick minute and say thank you, Gray, for the $10, mate. Much appreciated. Not sure what happened to you on the field there, but I tell you what, you always race hard. You always race fair. I love watching you race, mate. Shame you're not on the track, but thank you for that. Now these two guys, I would say the McFadden is just going to try and run his curtain tails here. He's just going to see if Dre can get up on the back of Crowther, so watch that time. Let's see what happens with those guys. We've got movers and shakers through the field. Dion, now have a look at this for an angry little battle pack. Paul's involved in this one. Paul's just gone a little bit sideways there. That's going to give Cookie a bit of a run. Cookie's going to push on. He will try and go straight up the inside here. He should have the run, but then Joshy Sadler in the background. This is all getting spicy. These guys, no one is giving any quarter at all. They're all pushing hard. Teammates, Rob Priest has just gone round Dion. He's just gone, thank you very much. Cut his nose off. That's a great move, Rob. Now up in the 9th position. Great driving, and Cookie's round. Cookie's round. Oh, I hope no one gets caught up in this one. That's a terrible spot to be sitting right now. Cookie just trying to clear it and just get out of the way. It got real messy real quick, but up the front, I have to go back up here because Fergo, he's got himself up on the back of Remo Grand, and he's going to have a red hot crack at this one.
He absolutely is. And now with Elliott up into that 2nd position, and this may help his case just a bit because that was Remo going off wide at the Ravazza, and he has now got himself down into 5th position, but that crucially now gives Ferguson that 4th position. And so now if we take a recap back to the point standings at the moment between the two of them, so in 2nd position and 4th position between your two title combatants, it is now only 4 points between the two of them with what they'll be scoring now, so it's still in favour of Andrew Ferguson. But before that move was done, I was about to say it is now getting towards the dicey end because that move was massive, because that cut it from 8 points to 4. So that is how crucial every position is at the moment for all of these drivers, and all it's going to take as well is for Andre Elliott to keep showing the pace that he's got now. If he can get himself to the race lead, he's going to swing that all the way back to 8 points once again.
Definitely, but I tell you what, he seems to be just dropping off Crowther there. Lee is doing what Lee does. He's put his head down, and he is just running away with this in the Thirsty Camel, doing a fantastic job of this one. He's seeing the headlights ablaze behind him and just going, I don't give a stuff about your headlights. I'm going forward, boys. You're behind me. All that matters is what's in front, and I tell you what, he's doing a great job there. He's now extended that lead out. Oh, it just went up to over a second, so Lee seems to be extending it right now. Andre, though, he won't give it up. He will push as hard as you like to try and get back up on this one. But there's little battles happening all up and down the field. I just noticed Corksy now coming on the back of Grand. He's going to try and get up there and see if he can make a move. Corksy will want the 5th position. All these guys, as I said, it's all bragging rights and where you sat in the championship at the end of it. And no one wants to be sitting there going, if I just took one more position, I would have had this.
Yeah, that is exactly right. It is just going to be a game of what ifs when that checkered flag drops. People will be thinking, if I did that, if I did this, maybe they could have been champion. But at the moment, the focus is between Elliott and Ferguson for that championship. Tommy Cork, so you can see that still doing absolutely everything he can to play his name into that game. But unfortunately for himself, he is still stuck there between Remo and Ezra, so he has not been able to march his way forward like you've seen Ferguson do, albeit though Ferguson has copped a little bit of a helping hand with some of the carnage that we have seen, and he's just placed his car to perfection to be able to carve his way through. That is probably what has got him all of that consistency to find himself into this position as well, now that he's only won 2 races this season. But Dean, you were saying that it was only a matter of time between Crowther and Elliott. It was only a second, and not too long ago, McFadden getting it all sideways, copying a little bit of that to grass on the exit there, but the gap between these two is also closing up, and McFadden still on the slide heading through Tozer, but in the background, looking ever so menacing with the headlights ablaze, is Andrew Ferguson, and you can see Grand and Corksy also going at it. They're trying to go for it, and now they're going 3 wide up the hill into Piratella. This can only end one way if they're going to try and do this 3 wide. One of them's got to give, and that's unfortunately Tommy Cork. So he was trying to make the move, and in the end has now got a Speed Nation roadblock in front of him. And now he's all over the grass. It's 3 wide once again as they now head into Aqua Minerale. How's this one? They're going to play out using all of the curb. They're still side by side despite all the car bouncing. It's going to be Ezra leading them all. And now does Fabian play his hand into this? Now he makes it 3 wide between himself, Corks, and Remo, and it's going to now be Ezra who can drive away in the Falcon. There's contact between the lot of them, and it's going to be Tommy Corks who comes out of the better of the 3, still side by side between her Fitness and Grand, and it looks like Grand's going to be holding on to this 7th just for now. But Fabian Fitness, wow, that was opportunistic and played his hand into that nearly immediately, and the battling continues now because Corksy had a bad run heading out of the chicane and now had to defend from Remo Grand.
Definitely had to defend for his life there, but Fitness running a shallow line. It looks like he's got good drive over that corner. No, he hasn't got overlap. He's had to tuck it back in. So he'll tuck in here and follow him along the straight and try to get a good run into the first corner. And I tell you what, he's got a great run here. He's tucked right up behind him. Let's jump in for a second. I mean, how close do you want to be? There's been a little nudge. There's been a little tap. Is he going to throw it to the inside? He thinks about it and then thinks better of it. Gets out of it and just lets it go for one more lap. So now Fitness starting to show pace, starting to show that he means business. It looks like he's on again. Let's jump back in the car. Love this in-car view. He's gone to the left. He's going to hold it there this time. He's backed out of it. There's a touch. Oh, there's some panel damage going on here. He's got a beautiful run. He's managed to just slip through there. He may have just given Remo a little bit of a touch to unsettle the car, but I tell you what, he's going to hold it, he's going to stick it, and he's going to run with it. But up the front, Pete, I can't believe I keep missing this, mate.
Yeah, Elliott is on an absolute charge. He wants to get this race win because at the moment, all he can hope for is to get the race win and for Ferguson to have a bit of an issue. But Ferguson currently in a little bit of no man's land with 7 seconds in front of him and over 2 seconds behind him. So it's going to be a mistake on his own for Ferguson if he wants to fall down the order a little bit and to give Elliott a championship here. But as I said, Elliott, all he can do now, it's out of his hands. He just needs to get a race win here. If he can do that, then he gives himself the best opportunity possible to try and go for that race win. But if it doesn't happen that way, how do you think the feelings are going to be after that qualifying session? Because that may have just been the moment where he lost it all. But Crowther, a little bit wide there, going through the first part of Rabatza. And is he going to be able to keep the momentum up? Because momentum is key in these cars. And now down the straight, this is the closest we've seen your top three for some time now. The top three separated by just about half a second. And so it is extremely close quarters between the lot of them. And they continue to go slipstreaming, weaving their way down the straights as they head into Variante Tamburello. And this is going to be it because now Crowther's on the defensive. This is the first time we've seen him on the defensive for some time. McFadden's deep, so he falls outside of that little magic number there of the half a second. But it is still absolutely on between Elliott and Crowther.
Yeah, these two guys, this is going to be on right until the line here. Crowther's done some beautiful driving in this race after all the incidents that happened in the first one, sorry. He didn't deserve half the stuff that happened there, but I tell you what, he's making amends right now. He's holding Andre at bay, and that's not easy because this man is quick. And McFadden here coming in as the tail gunner, he's just trying to stay with these guys and run with them and see how far he can get up. But there's still movers and shakers up and down the field. I've seen these two guys battling it out flat out. Speed Nation cars, two teammates, but I tell you what, there's no love lost there. And Priest and Astrop, they've been going at it hammer and tongs. I've seen position swaps all over the shop, and Rob there, just a little bit taily, that may have just hampered his exit there. Not sure if he'll be able to hang on to it. Astrop tucks back in. So it looks like we're fine. I'm getting tongue-tied. There is now starting to be action all up and down the field, but I have to go back to the front here because I tell you what, Dre's closed it back up again. So this is not over. Andre obviously very fast through this section of the track, seems to be able to cut down the time as quick as you like. It's just an exit or two here and an exit or two there, which is just letting him down, and that could just be the frustration of trying to follow the car in front, which is not an easy task.
It's not an easy task at all because you kind of lose sight of where you are on the circuit because you're so close behind the other car. But going through Variante Alta, that chicane that we just saw him when we cut back to there as well, you can see the different racing lines. So he's really trying to focus on the exits there. So he hampered himself in the first half of that chicane to try and put the throttle down nice and early to get himself the run into a very good overtaking opportunity down the hill into Ravatza. But unfortunately, he got it a little bit on the slide there because with these cars, they're exiting on that white paint there on the exit of the chicane, which, as everyone would know, the paint is not very grippy at all. So, and in these cars, it is all to play for. Crowther's had an absolute mare. He's had it all on the slide. And so now that's going to open up the door for Elliott. Is Elliott going to take the lead? Is McFadden going to follow him through? McFadden is going to try and follow the two, go side by side. Elliott now takes the lead of this one. Elliott's now off into the grass. So is McFadden. Both of the Rangiart cars. There's defensive driving going on. That was a little bit late for the defensive maneuver. Crowther had to get out of it. This has now really kicked off inside your top three, but there's a driver on the charge in the background. You'll see him. He's going to be ever closer than he has been before. And there's Andrew Ferguson, only 5.5 seconds behind, but there's 3 minutes of racing left to go. And he's also losing pace because Ezra is now closing up to the back of Fergo as well. So this could be absolutely on for the championship. Elliott, though, is in prime position. He's got that race lead. That is everything that he's going to be able to do so far. It's up to Ferguson now for the championship. But these two battle it out now. Crowther versus McFadden, and Crowther, he squeezes McFadden out onto the exit, and he grabs that second position away from McFadden. McFadden, nothing he can do about it with all of that wheel spin he got on the paint.
I tell you what, how was that for racing? Hold your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Poor Crowther stuck in a Rangiart sandwich there. And I tell you what, he held his own, held his ground, did a great job. But Andre just managing to get through. I love how these guys are having little bumps and taps and no one's whinging about it. They are just playing on for it. McFadden now right up on Crowther. He'll want a Rangiart 1-2 for the finish to this season. Can he get that job done? Crowther now, he's eyes forward again. He wants that back from Elliott. Can he get that position back from Andre? He's going to have about 1 lap to do it, I'd say. All he's going to have is 1 lap to do it. So right now, he's just eyes forward. The guns are on. McFadden, though, closing in. Oh, there's position swaps everywhere. These two guys, Speed Nation boys, still going out of Rob with it. Excuse me. Absolutely lost it on the way out there, but can he hold it? Oh, bit of panel damage there. I tell you what, there'll be chat in the sheds after that one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a little bit of scruffy between the two teammates, and it's going to continue as they now head down the main straight for the final time at pace. I say now definitely are on the final lap, but I just had a quick look at the standings, Dean. Going on to this final lap, it's only 4 points now between Elliott and Ferguson, and all it's going to take is for Ferguson to lose a position. And in the background, he was on the grass, so he is really pushing it, and you can see that he hasn't been able to shake Ezra away. So that gap was over 2 seconds between Ferguson and Ezra Simons, and it is now only a second. So the pace is falling away for Andrew Ferguson. He's still able to catch up to your top three, but that's because they're all battling it out together. So they're going to be losing time. And so that's why that delta's coming together. But now the gap between himself and Ezra is under a second. But the battle now for second position, this is going to come down to the absolute wire, because all it takes is one bad exit or one bad sequence of corners, and the move down into Ravazza will be absolutely on. And that sequence of corners is coming up now at Variante Alta. Is this going to play out in the hands of McFadden? Is it going to play out in the hands of Crowther? Because it looks like Crowther's had a bit of a cleaner run through that. He might have a little bit of a run here, Dean. He might have a little bit of a run. Is he going to be able to go later on the brakes and show it down the inside, around the outside, wherever he wants to try and put that nose of the Thirsty Camels machine? And he's not able to do it. He's got the rear on the slide to try and pitch the car in, and he's just not going to be able to get it done. He's going to have to hold on to a third position here. But as the clock now runs down to absolute zero, they're going to be faced with the checkered flag heading down at this main straight. Andre Elliott's going to win the race to hold on to as much of a title that he can. McFadden and Crowther will round out your podium, but Andrew Ferguson is going to cross the line as your champion by only 4 points. What a final race weekend.
What a race weekend that was indeed. Andre with the win, beautiful win there. McFadden in second, Crowther. Oh, that poor man was absolutely up against it tonight. Still managed to pull off a third position. That's a great drive. And then Fergo, our champion, the championship winner in the Utes series. Take a bow, sir. That was a remarkable series. Absolutely held his nerve. Give us some smoke, mate. That's what we all want. Light him up. But your champion, ladies and gentlemen. What a drive. What a season from Ferguson. And then we had Ezra in 5th there. Corksy in 6th. Fitness 7th. Dion in 8th. Remo in 9th. Astrop in 10th. Sadler, Salmon, Paul, Hollyoak, Cookie, King, Priest. Not sure what happened to Rob in the end there. Wallace, Rogers, and Streets. But what an amazing championship, and this man proving the victor.
He is proving the victor, and that was a very classy championship run from himself, only winning the 2 races of the entire series. So he has just proven to himself that consistency is absolutely everything when it comes to motorsport, and that is exactly why he has become the champion. He didn't win the most amount of races, but he made sure that when he had an off-race weekend, he was still very much up there inside of your top 5. And so, very, very classy champion indeed is going to be Andrew Ferguson.
Oh, definitely. And I tell you what, I have to give it to the man. Driver of the day, Fergo. Held his nerve, did a fantastic job there. Held the boys at bay. That must have been a drive. He will have sweaty palms like you wouldn't believe. But what a drive. What a series. This had absolutely everything. Amazing series. I can't wait for the next one.
I cannot wait either. And you know what? We don't have to wait very long, do we, Dean? Because with the calendar, we're going to be racing once again in the GT 500s on the 24th of March at Suzuka. But we're going to have a bit of fun before we do that. Because next week, we're off to Daytona to do a bit of stock car racing, which is going to be ever so exciting. I love myself some stock car racing, and I think these guys will be very entertaining to watch a buck draft and around the super speedway of Daytona.
Definitely, definitely, it will be one to watch. But ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, thank you very much for joining us for the Rangiart Tuesdays. The Combox has been absolutely fantastic with my mate right beside me. And I tell you what, this man, Pete, you're an absolute legend. I can't thank you enough for being here with me.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity to jump in the box. It's been very fun, and it's also been fun to be able to jump behind the wheel as well and mix it up with these guys. It's been good fun, and it's also good to watch you work your magic as well behind the wheel, and then for me to annoy you halfway through the race too. That was pretty good.
It definitely had everything this series. Let's see if we can up the ante for the next one. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for joining us. If you like what you see, like and subscribe and get notified. I tell you what, this series has absolutely everything. If you don't get what you want watching racing here, I don't know where you'll get it. It is a fantastic event held by the Rangiart boys. Thank you all who stuck with us. Pete, I guess it's adios for now, mate. As I said, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. It's been fantastic having you here, and I will see you for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, ladies and gents, next week, Daytona, get all around it.
And keep it flat out.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.